Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Gebo the Shaman, and today we're talking about how to get out of the victim mentality, how to overcome a victim mentality. And essentially that's, kind of what I'm going through with my step work right now. I've talked a lot on the channel about, doing my step work, with a 12-step group, and yeah, it's very challenging. It's very just very brings up a lot. So essentially I'm going through the basically a process of writing down my resentments and taking an inventory of basically who I'm resentful at, and why I resent them, and then the third column is what is my part? So what's my part in that? And then the fourth one is what is the exact nature of my wrongs? So a victim mentality has no problem saying, yeah, this is who hurt me, this is what they did, and this is how it affected me, right? That's, that's how it is. That's, that's the mindset. This is what they did to me, this is how that affected me. But then we, stay resentful at them. Things can happen in life, but without us getting resentful. And it's okay to feel however we feel. However, the resentment is what breeds victim mentality. So often we say, oh, this person did this to me, this is what they did to me, and this is how it affected me. We can very easily do that, but it's harder to actually go into what was my part in it. Did I ruminate about that rumination about how people wronged us? That's our responsibility. As much as it hurts and it's painful and all that good stuff, it's our responsibility to take care of ourselves. And rumination doesn't help anybody. So why do we resent? Why do we ruminate about who hurt us and why they hurt us? Is it because you're expecting it for one day them to walk up to you and beg for your forgiveness? Is that it? Are you expecting things to change? Are you expecting somebody with a magical wand to, make the pain go away? Are you, what's the root of that? You gotta ask yourself these questions. So when we discover our part, maybe somebody was rude to us or bumped into us at the store, but then we ruminate about that. It's okay to get a flash of anger. Flashes of anger, emotions are, they're okay in the moment, because basically your nervous system is trying to protect you. So that's why you get angry. A flash of anger when somebody bumps into you or when somebody cuts you off in traffic, you're trying to defend yourself. Then the anger triggers the cortisol and the stress hormones and all that good stuff, and basically triggers adrenaline and gets you to react, or react so that you can be safe. either pull to the side of the road or slow down or something like that. So yeah, that's one thing. The flash of anger is one thing, but then the continued rumination and resentment about it is another thing. If you later that day or the next day you think about that incident and you get angry and you say, well, this is what I should have told him, this is what I should have done this, I should have done that, I should have beat them up or whatever. But that's what you do, and that part, that's the resentment part. That's when you're holding on to something. That's what it is. So this continued resentment, this continued victim mentality, it's really coming from a place of disempowerment. Like, you have no choice in the matter, you have no say in the matter, and and you're angry because you feel powerless and helpless. But that is not the truth. That is far from the truth. You are not powerless, you are not helpless. I'll give you an example. Being raised in, a home where my mom wasn't home a lot, and I was raised mainly by my grandparents. Essentially, there was some resentment that, my mom was basically neglecting me, and, when she did get home, she would get on my ass about doing homework, and yell at me and scream at me and all that stuff. So yeah, so that wasn't fun. So I just had a flashback. So the abuse and the neglect and the all that stuff, I had very good reason to be angry about that with her, because because that was a harm that was done to me. That was something that was wrong of her to do. And, I didn't get an apology or anything like that. So, kind of have, PTSD from it and things like that, complex PTSD and stuff. So I could continue, this is the thing about resentments, the initial thing, the initial incident might have happened a while ago, let's say in your childhood, but the continued rumination about it, the continued victim mentality and feeling sorry for yourself and things like that, it's like, I understand that there needs to be a grieving process over that stuff, especially if you were abused and neglected and things like that. Those emotions need to come out. I'm not telling you not to have the emotions. I'm saying the continued rumination, the getting angry, becoming resentful and things like that, the continuation of that throughout your life, it doesn't really serve you. So while we can have the feelings, we can also act in accordance with the belief that we are not victims. So I was meditating the other day, actually just earlier today, and I've been meditating throughout for probably a week on just trying to connect with Odin and trying to ask him for help and wisdom and guidance on all this stuff that I'm going through with my process of the things that I'm going through. And essentially, he said, let me see, I'm gonna have to look at my notes here. He says, Odin says, it's okay to feel like a victim. Like, you can have those feelings, you can feel like a victim, but your beliefs, assumptions, and actions are what counts. These are what will raise your vibration, raise your frequency, and allow you to shift into a preferred reality. So, a lot of people believe in law of attraction and all that good stuff. But really, it's a lot of people think that, if they just have happy feelings, happy thoughts, that everything will be okay and they'll manifest their perfect reality. Well, I'm here to tell you that is far from the case. That is so far from the actual reality, and it's actually delusional thinking, because every time we have happy thoughts doesn't mean that we manifest happy things. It changes. So what Odin is saying here is that your assumptions, your actions, your beliefs are what counts. They are what matters. It's not your feelings, it's really not your feelings, it's the actions, the assumptions, the beliefs, things like that determine your reality. And it is a process. So, just because you are taking the appropriate actions that you need to do to heal yourself for 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, it doesn't mean that, you're gonna have results overnight. It takes time. So, doing the appropriate actions, it's kind of like on a scale. So you might see a little bit happening. Like for me, for the YouTube channel that I built, essentially I didn't see really any results for the first year of doing that, and then I continued to do it a year and a half and 2 years, and essentially just kept on doing it, and the results started to appear. So this is the frustrating thing that with manifesting our own reality, is it does take time. Shifting out of that victim mentality does take time. So, it's all about just, having patience and continuing to do the work. Because what does Saturn tell us? The planet Saturn, is all about discipline, organization, structure. It's about being patient. It's about building a ornate cathedral or ornate building, one single brick at a time. They had to build it layer by layer. It didn't happen overnight. It was a slow process, but by doing work every day, working on yourself every day, you can slowly begin to, build those bricks of the reality that you want to create. So we are building that reality and shifting out of our victim mentality. So another thing that that I want to talk about is Odin gave me a very good some people call this a mantra, but it's not actually a mantra, it's just an affirmation. So he gave me a really excellent affirmation, and that says that, let me see here, the affirmation is, let's see, even though I feel like a victim, I choose to believe that I created this life and everything in it, both the good and the bad. And I thoroughly and completely love and accept myself exactly as I am. I have the power to create my perfect reality and fulfill my desires, wants, and needs. I am a growing, unfolding spiritual being, resting in the hands of a loving God. So that's it. That's the kind of download that I got. And you'll notice there's something about remember I said your actions, your beliefs, and your assumptions are what determine your reality. So for example, I realized the other day that I expect, that's an assumption, that's an expectation, and also, beliefs, expectations, assumptions, and actions are what predicate your reality, what create your reality. So I was realizing the other day that I always expected negative things to happen to me. So for example, my book, this Tantric Secrets of Vedic Astrology, a lot of people have bought this book, and that's amazing. That really helps me. But I was looking at the page on Amazon the other day, and I saw that it had just 1 2-star review. And beforehand, I looked at it maybe several days before this incident, and it had a 5-star review with a written review with a kind person who views the channel. He basically wrote a long review, and it was detailed, and it was really good, and got a lot of praise for it and things like that. And because of my expectation of negative things happening to me, I go and look at that, the reviews several days later, hoping for another one, but hoping for another written 5-star review, but instead I got a 2-star review with no writing. So I think Amazon deleted one of the reviews. So yeah, it's just when we have an expectation of something negative to happen, then it does. If we have the expectation that we are a victim and that we have no power and that everybody is always abusing us and we have no power or no say in it, when we take that assumption and that belief on and that expectation on, then what do you think is going to happen? So it's really important, because we often live these patterns in our lives, maybe where we're abused by our parents, and then we continue to be abused by our partner, our spouse. And then we maybe, maybe our children, act out act out of line and, you know, are physically violent with us or things like that. It's, you know, it's really important to have a grasp of these things and how important they are. So, and they are very important. So, you know, and then in that prayer or affirmation, I said that, let me see here. I choose to believe that I created this life and everything in it, the good and the bad. So that's something that we can constantly continue to remind ourselves of. The belief that this life is our choice. And even though negative things have happened to you in your life, you chose them. It might not be consciously, it might be subconsciously, it might be, you know, a choice that happened before you were born by your soul. You know, we don't know how these things work, but essentially we choose different things based on our upbringing and our, you know, our mentality, the things that happen to us as children and things like that. So it's very important to, you know, have this understanding. Because if you can get past the victim mentality and say, you know what, I chose everything that I have in my life, that means that you can unchoose it. That means that you can evolve and, you know, choose different things. You can choose to have a pleasant life instead of one full of drama and, you know, victimhood and things like that. You can choose that, and that the choice isn't done just mentally. Oh, I choose to, you know, you can tell yourself, I choose to be wealthy. I choose to have a good life. I choose to be prosperous. I choose to have healthy, loving relationships with people. But if your actions don't back that up, then nothing's gonna happen. Another teacher of mine once said, the action supports the magic, and the magic supports the actions. So, even though we are working on ourselves spiritually, but we need to actually have the actions, because guess what? This is a 3D world. We are physical beings, and we are capable of taking physical actions, tangible actions, in order to improve our lives. Let's say you choose to become fit. That means you gotta go to the gym, you gotta work out regularly. It can't just happen, you know, once a week. You know, if you really want to get into shape quickly, it has to happen, you know, 3 to 4 times a week, or maybe even every day, doing something, you know, some kind of physical activity every day. So this is how we shift. This is how we shift to a new reality, is by our actions. And it's, you know, really, you know, we don't have any control over what happened in our past, but we do have control over our perception of the past and how we respond to that. We can control how we perceive it, you know. For example, being abused and neglected by my mother. That I could see that as, oh, I'm a poor innocent victim, or I can see that as, wow, that really taught me, you know, that gave me a hardship to really learn how to love myself and have high self-esteem. You know, so we can reframe it. We can see it in a different light. It doesn't have to be a victim mentality. So these are really important concepts to learn and to start applying in your own life. I see plenty of people just watching my videos and doing nothing. You know, they'll watch it and they'll say, yeah, clap, 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 that was a good video. And then they'll just proceed with their life. Well, if you don't start applying the principles of what I'm teaching, you're never going to get anywhere. You know, it's really, you know, on you to, it's on you to, you know, take control over your own life. So I can talk about it all day, but it's up to you to do the work. I've done the work. I'm currently doing the work, so it's important to do that yourself. So if you want to work with me, you know, individually, have a private session with me, you can go. I offer career coaching. I offer life coaching, so you can go to my website, and I'm also a spiritual counselor, so, you know, I'll help you through that as best as I can. And go to my website, gebotheshaman.com. I also offer Qigong courses. Qigong courses are a great way to commune with the universe and receive the energy, the infinite energy of the universe. I also have my astrology certification course, which is basically a course that takes you through my style of astrology. That's Vedic astrology, and essentially I'll give you your own website once you learn my how to give a reading. And yeah, the course takes you through that. It has PDF documents, it has videos, it's a self-paced course, and essentially you can you know, you can do it anytime at your own pace. And when you take the certification exam and you essentially when you pass that certification course, when you pass the certification course, I will give you your own website. So that's, you know, really good. So you can actually take payments for your astrology services on that website. And then we have the astrology readings. I do astrology readings. I do, you know, different things like that. I can do career consultations for astrology, relationship readings. I don't do synastry, but I do relationship readings, looking at your D9 chart. I also do birth time rectifications. So if you don't know what time your birth time is, then I would highly recommend getting a birth time rectification from me. Also, I do room readings. So if you want to know about your past, present, future, what's going on, making sense of your current reality and what's going to happen, I would highly recommend getting a rune reading. Then we have the career coaching and life coaching. I talked about that. And then we have the trauma healing course, which is basically available on my website, and it's also called the emotional awareness course. I'm working on changing that up to be, you know, to be a one-time purchase instead of a monthly thing. And then we have the distance energy healing, which basically is helpful to heal yourself. So my dog is going crazy, so I'll just go ahead and end it there. Take care, guys. Peace.